Is the timer on? Oh, okay. My 4-year-old self would have never guessed that 10 years ahead, even toddlers would have their own gadgets. Back then, my entertainment options were just evolving around a comic book, a Barbie doll, and Play-Doh. The fact that children's entertainment has altered so much within a few years is fascinating indeed. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, a case of digitalization. Good afternoon, honorable educators, respectful audience, and my fellow finalists. My name is Jocelin Christabel Tanaputra from Kanaan Junior High School, Banjarmasin. My purpose of being here is to present to you the topic, digitalization in many aspects and its effects. To start, we all should know what digitalization is. Digitalization is the conversion of text, picture, or sound into a digital form that can be processed by a computer. With that being said, I am sure we are all familiar with the results of digitalization because it can be found everywhere in the 21st century. Many reasons are involved in the sequence of the beginning of digitalization, one of which is because human being wants to achieve top efficiency. Digitalization gives us convenience, but there are some things that cannot be replaced by digital transformation. So today, I'm going to cover them up. First, let's begin with online learning. Even though the pandemic has started to subside that schools already conduct a face-to-face learning method, online learning is still an experience that we, as students, can never forget. I love online learning because learning materials are getting more easily accessible, opening a broad chance for students to pursue education. However, there seems to be a piece missing from the education I have once known. Do you know what it is? It is the interaction between teachers and students with their friends. Even though, yeah, we do have Zoom meetings, but students show their foreheads only, and some won't even respond when the teacher calls them. The lack of social interaction by students with their peers at school will undoubtedly affect our ability in socializing. Therefore, I believe that in long-term application of the education method, face-to-face learning will offer a better result. Aside from the educational implementation of digitalization in school, we can also see it above school time. What I'm talking about is online competitions. When such type of competitions did not exist, it was tough to gather participants worldwide or nationwide due to many unexpected factors. But now, competitions can reach anyone from anywhere. While it is true that doing competitions reduces the committee's management over the participants, we just need to find a way to improve the surveillance and security system to make sure no one cheats. Now, talking about digitalization in business catches my interest. Personally speaking, I think online shopping is delightful. All products you want are available, you just need to wait a few short days to obtain your product, and even you can get vouchers to get some cashback or free shipping. Digitalization in marketing brings a huge benefit for small business owners. It is not seldom that I find sellers who are still a student. I am glad to see how everyone gets the equal opportunity to bargain, no matter where they are from, how old they are, or from which race they might be. In addition to online shopping, there will also be online advertising. If a company targets young adults or teenagers as their market, then advertising online will be the best strategy. Through online ads, business managers can create a more creative and engaging way to promote their products. Still a bit similar to business matters, now we are going to listen to how digitalization has affected the method we use in payments. Imagine this, you have just finished eating at the restaurant. You walk to the cashier to pay, but then you realize you forgot to bring your wallet. Knowing that you don't have money or any card with you got you picturing yourself washing the dishes at that restaurant. But then you remembered you still have some e-money balance in your e-wallet. You let out a sigh of relief, succeeding to escape from an embarrassing situation. Simply explained, e-money is a non-physical form of the money we use daily. To pay using e-money, we only have to scan a QR code at the store. The situation before illustrates how much of a lifesaver this technology can be. Last but not least, I would like to share an eye-opening story from an adult I know. She told me that when she was a kid, she would make a promise to her friends to meet in the field. Later that day, all her friends showed up on time. I wondered, Miss, why are you telling me this story? What do you want me to know through it? She replied, back then, people highly treasure promises. If they agree on a plan, they will be committed to it and will try their best to come on time. When you see people nowadays, they make promises through texting. It is not invalid, but sometimes when a person agrees on a promise they made through text, they don't put much thought into it, which results in a weak bind of that promise. Using the digital media to communicate is effective and easy indeed. But it shouldn't be an excuse for us to say anything instantly without considering it. Hope you and I will not abandon a promise regardless of how we make it. To sum up, digitalization can create the unexpected. It makes major improvements in many aspects, but despite all of its advantages, it cannot be denied that some barely noticed weaknesses are still present. We should learn to control ourselves so that we don't use digital alternatives excessively. That was all from me. We can now move on to the Q&A section, please.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn. It's very good. It's clear. I just love it.
Thank you very much.
It's very nice. Okay, my question will be, all right, with all this digitalization, people say that it makes lives easier, but somehow it actually, what I believe as devolving humans. Like when you are hungry, instead of cooking, you just grab your phone and then order. When you want to buy something, without even leaving your room, you just have to press few things on your phone, right? So it somehow, in a way, makes our lives useless. Yeah. Like, because we don't walk anymore. Yeah. So what do you think about it? Like, do you agree that saying that with all this digitalization, instead of making things better, it actually it is making things better, but then the effect to us as a human, it's not really good in a way. Physically. Yeah, physically.
I completely agree. It does make human beings lazier because we don't move a lot, as you said before. We just click on our phones and then we don't pay much attention to our health anymore because of that, correct? Yeah, I do agree.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just like what he said, like I was everything about the presentation. You done I love your opening. I love your opening. I always love that kind of speech opening. Well, you also structure us your presentation well. You mentioned what you're going to say first, and then you go ahead and explain each of the topics that you're going to mention. You also give us an example. You even give us a situational example that further create a clear understanding for the audience and also for us to actually understand your focus or your point of view. So all in all, it was just marvelous. Okay. Right. So my question would be, digitalization is something that we cannot avoid, no matter what, right? However, along with what we said before, it does tend to make us default into less human in a way. Okay, less human. That's probably not a good word, but yeah, that's what he said, basically. So what I want to try to ask you is that how do you think we, as a person, as a human, can still use digitalization wisely? As you are the, I want to hear an opinion from you as a younger generation. How should we treat the digitalization so that we don't abandon our nature as humans?
The way we treat digitalization comes from ourselves. So I think it depends on each person itself. Like every person has their own way to face digitalization. To face it wisely, We have our own ways. Everyone has their own ways. For me personally, I limit myself to the digital media in my phone, in my surroundings, and all. I pay attention to my being as a human. Yes.
Can you give an example of how do you pay attention? Can you give me an example?
Oh yeah, pay attention to myself instead of the digitalization things. Yeah. So usually students or not, like teenagers nowadays, play games on their phones. They read webtoons on their phones. They order food on their phones too. But I learned to cook. I read books, physical books. I play with my brothers, with toys and all. That's how.
Very good. Thank you so much. It's a nice suggestion and it was a great presentation.
I would like to once again say thank you to everyone who has listened carefully, and I deeply apologize if I make any mistake. Hope you all have a nice day. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.